Hey, it's 28mm RPG here. I'm gonna shave this off tomorrow. You think I should shave it off? Or do you think I should keep it? Do you think I should keep it going? I can get it really huge. I'll probably cut it off because it drives me crazy after a while. So I went ahead and this is a redo of a video that I did. There was some bleed through from some kind of source on my computer. I don't know what it was from, but I got rid of it. And now everything's nice and clear. So let's do this. I put on my Discord channel a little bit of a blurb here. It's once you kind of read here through. It's not a debate. I'm just writing this down as my own personal goals outline for you to read. And you take it for what it is, use it for yourself or ignore it. But all in all, it's what I'm trying to achieve in role-playing gaming. So the end result is getting myself, this guy here, skilled up enough to run a game as a game master or narrator. I'm going to call myself narrator. Where sessions become an interesting string of situations played out with you, meaning the interesting or... Oh, here we go. Hold on here. I have a crazy loose wire up there. So... Jim, you... Go turn on the power again. So please excuse that. It switches off in the most weird. That's why you see me in the dark room every once in a while. So, because I turn that thing off because it's annoying. All right. So, the end result is to get myself skilled up enough as a game master where the sessions become an interesting string of situations played out with you, whoever you are. Right now it's it's Gordo and Spencer and Josh and whoever else will want to play as well, as interesting or mundane characters and seeing what happens. Nothing is scripted or planned. And what I mean by scripted or planned is like, I'm going to have some sort of situation, but that's going to be about it. And whatever happens from then on, is whatever happens. So I got two explanations here, and I think this is interesting to note that RPG Elite also made mention of this. One thing is being role-playing, and the other one being role-playing. So the first one, role-playing, this one here, meaning to play a role where you talk in character throughout the session. You never ask questions directly towards the narrator because, why would you? The narrator is like a book narrator. Like I'm narrating and describing what you are seeing. So the only time you roll dice is when the narrator indicates it's necessary to do so. And the session is usually played theater of the mind. So... Now, this is what I want, is the role players. So, is these guys, the role players, the ones that will talk in character. Now, so so role playing, like this one here, where you're rolling the dice, role playing, where the players roll dice every action, a rarely speak in character, also ask lots of rule mechanic questions during the session. The game is primarily played on a grid and has rules, a board gamey kind of turns, and miniatures. I'm not against having miniatures. I can play rolling dice, role-playing games as well. I don't mind them as long as they are More on the table, like in my game room here, because the one thing I don't like is having to go ahead and turn on and off targeting on virtual tabletops and stuff like that. It drives me crazy. So there's nothing wrong. What I say here, nothing wrong with role playing games, as in rolling dice. I love a good board game from time to time. You've seen me play one, on here as well, and they're not. You're not bad for liking role playing games. That's okay. It's fine. I like them too. But when I want to get online here and do something, this is different. I want to do role playing, as in people playing a role. Now I outline my role as the narrator. The narrator describes the surroundings and takes form of NPCs with their own goals, plans, wants, needs. Those are things that I pretty much already do in my games, no matter what. That's where my main focus of writing stuff up is the NPCs, not necessarily the situation. The NPCs are having like their own plans. They could be good guys, bad guys, whatever. They have their own ideas on what they want happening. So the characters obviously may interfere with these plans with them, so that's fine, and that's where the interesting gameplay takes place. Alrighty, so where are we here? The narrator does not answer direct questions. So there's been a couple of questions coming up on this, and I've answered them already. But just to let everybody else know here, so if the character wants to ask a question, they ask by being their character. And say, for example, the character wants to know, say, for instance, if there is any traps on the chest before them. So instead of just saying to the narrator, is there any traps, around, you say, my character is looking closely to see if there is any traps surrounding the area. Just do that. But don't ask direct questions, because it pulls me out of the narrator mode. It turns me into, we are playing out of character and stuff like that. So let's not do that, and let's try to stay in character as much as possible throughout the game. And let's see. Sometimes the narrator, so narrator will ask for die rolls when necessary. It does slightly pull things out, but we'll try to work it in subtly. Usually in times of uncertainty, sometimes the narrator will query a character if necessary, but it's not commonplace. So most of the time, when I ask for a roll, it is usually because there is something that could happen. It's all depends on what the action is being taken. Characters shouldn't ask questions like, "Can I climb that wall?" No, the character, if you want to climb that wall, I will attempt to climb the wall. Okay, so that's what you're doing. Whether or not you're good or bad at it, well, you make the roll, and then we'll find out whether or not you're good or bad at it. So that is the cool thing. Sometimes you can do it, even though you're terrible, possibly terrible at it. You should know as a player what your character can do just by looking at the character sheet. So now, the narrator will refrain from exposition. Exposition meaning lengthy descriptions, and then other unnecessary, there goes my lights, other unnecessary extra, like I'll say, for example, well, I'm gonna tell you about this area this city, and then I'm going to tell you about the citizens in the city and how they feel and how they, and what they drive and stuff like that, and what's going on. They're going to go ahead and have a riot and rise up against the leader of the town and blah blah blah. No, 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 no. The players go in and they notice that maybe some of these individuals in the city as they arrive are coming in busloads and unloading themselves. They all seem to be having signs saying "Down with the king" or whatever, and they've got baseball bats and stuff like that. Now you're getting the idea through as players are encountering things, what's happening. They have somewhat of an idea, oh, shit's going to hit the fan here. And then they can find out, oh, these guys, they may guess that they're just rioters or something like that. But, as they uncover things, they learn, oh, well, something's happening. Do we go along with this, or do we go against it, or do we just ignore it and keep on going on? This stuff is going to be happening in the background. There's going to be a riot. There's going to be all kinds of stuff happening. But in the meantime, the characters are trying to get their job done, trying to look for a missing individual or whatever it is that they're trying to do. So it's it all depends on how they're playing it out. And like the nice thing about Theater of the Mind is you don't have to have maps prepared for everything, As things happen, I could just quickly jot down a couple of streets and write down here, here, here. This is the location of the missing person. This is the where the riot's occurring, and this is the main street, and blah blah blah. And then let the session continue on and see what evolves. Something could happen along the way on the road. There might be, I could pull a card that says something else happens. I have cards that allow for that, so I use them. So no exposition. Everything must be discovered by the players on their own. So now to the mechanics of the gameplay. So this is the kind of line out. What the system mechanics are: back seat driver. So this means it's to, like any kind of unnecessary rolls. You've seen on my video, on my live streams, I've never asked for a initiative roll. Not unless it's something in question where it's very necessary to see who goes first. Like, they're having a gunfight and they're lining up to approach each other, and ching ching, and they decide to draw, and do that. That would require like an initiative roll. But a person going ahead and saying what they're doing is doing it right at that time. So or if they see a monster or something and it's doing what it's doing it in real time. Then you get to react or whatever it is. So it's hucking a big car at you, and you're going, I'm diving out of the way, and that's what's the action of your character. So we'll just take it as that is. So so players should never ask to do specific rolls, like, can I do an insight check? Don't do that. No, the narrator is only allowed to ask for rolls. Visual elements will be shown from time to time by the narrator. These will not be grid maps. These can be a map if it's being made, if there's somebody there actually, drawing a map out, they're the cartographer of the group. And you can look at the map as if, you're looking at a piece of paper, and the map will be there being uncovered as the cartographer is drawing it. And you don't have any monsters on it. You don't have any, indicators on where you are. You have to ask the map maker where you are at. And he goes, oh, we're just here. Okay. And that way you know where you're at, basically. Your map maker dies and he was in the middle of continuing on, drawing more stuff on the map. He croaks, and then you pick up the map. You're going to be at kind of a loss of, okay, you can't ask, where are you? You just look at the map and go, we must be here, and then continue on. So, visual elements, yeah, okay, I said that. Yeah, no combat will be presented on these maps at all. So we are not using, anything. The system will be a lighter, more abstract and exacting system. I personally have a preference playing like Cepheus Traveler. That's what we're playing now tonight. Castles and Crusades. Or an older D&D kind of style system, or my favorite, Cypher system. So Numenera, The Strange, Godforsaken. We're likely going to be playing some Godforsaken next. These systems are less board gamey in general and light on mechanics, which is sweet for this style of gameplay of theater of the mind. Like I say, initiative never rolled unless it is a questionable situation. Initiative is implied by the characters acting first. The sessions are more free-form, and there is no framework that confines the characters into a railroad. Okay, I don't like railroads, but my players should not be railroaded. I, as the narrator, have only a handful of notes on the situation, but lots of notes on NPCs, non-player characters. That's how I've always ran my games, be them board gamey or not board gamey. My games are driven on the exploits of the NPCs and the characters acted by the players, willpower to circumvent the NPCs' plans. So that is what is happening. So you're going to have this, ebb and flow between players and NPCs, and that is what is happening throughout the game. Alrighty, so that's it, and that I went ahead and wrote a little bit thing down here. If you want to join me on this journey of role playing, hop on board. Let's do this. It won't be easy at first. There's a lot to get used to. Mistakes will be made, and all I ask is you try, and we will get better at it. So that is my basic manifesto, role-playing manifesto. So that is basically it. So I don't know what you guys think. Hopefully this is much better video than the one that I had, except for the entertaining light situation. And if you like this and you think you'd be interested in hearing more of my stuff, I know a lot of you guys are subscribed.